Morning everybody, it's Rob, Yoga Dad, and it is day, let me just adjust the headband, all important. It's day 24 of the Summer Stretch Challenge, 15-minute daily stretch to really kickstart your day, raising money obviously for charities that have been at the forefront of the COVID response over the past few months. To be honest, I'm feeling pretty flat today. I had a terrible night's sleep. I'm banging, not sure whether really I'm up for this today, but I'm here, so let's see how we get on. And that's the most important thing sometimes, is even when you're feeling really low, just getting back out there, getting amongst nature, having a bit of a stretch and a move, and seeing where it takes you. So we're going to start in a standing position today. So as we've done when we've been starting in our standing positions, let's just rock from side to side. Just really feeling that weight distribution from one side to the other, kind of swinging the hips from side to side, and then rocking onto the balls of the feet, and then back onto the heels, and just really feeling that grounding down to all four corners. And maybe, yeah, right. Okay, let's bring our hands down by our side. Just close our eyes just for a moment. And just taking a deep inhale and exhale, and just really feel the body weight sinking down towards the floor, the ground beneath you. By really feeling that connection through to the ground, we can then root down and lift up through the knees, the thighs, up towards the hips, all the way along the front body. Feeling that length along the back body, all the way up towards the neck. Fingers extending down towards the floor, almost as though they could touch the ground beneath us. And the head reaching up towards the ceiling, or this beautiful blue sky that I've got above me today. Nice soft gaze, open the eyes. I'll just take myself back a little bit further so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to lift my arms up and overhead. And then back to centre. Do that a couple more times in one direction, so turning the palms up, bringing the palms up into a prayer position overhead, and then back to the centre again, in front of the chest. And then once more in that direction. I'll do the same in the opposite direction, so palms up, prayer position, turn the palms down, alongside the body, and back round. Feel free to integrate the breath. It feels good to you. So inhaling as you lift the arms up and overhead. Exhaling as you lower them back down alongside the body. Now I'm going to bring myself back onto the mats. So I'm going to inhale this time and lift my arms up and overhead. And exhale to fold forward. Maintaining that length along the spine, hinging the hips and keeping a nice bend in the knees to ease any tension on the back of the legs. Hands to the shins with a flat back, straightening the legs, straightening the knees if possible. Exhaling to fold forward, bending the knees. Inhaling, lifting the arms up, and exhaling back down. Do that twice more. Inhaling, lift up, exhaling, fold. Head nice and heavy down towards the floor, keeping those knees bent, particularly at the start of this session. Hands to the shins on an inhale, exhaling, fold, knees bent. Inhaling, lift up, and back to centre. One more. Inhaling, lift up, exhaling, fold. Hands to shins on an inhale, exhaling, fold again, bending the knees, inhaling, lift up, and back to centre. Tapping the hands now either side of the feet, so framing those feet with the fingers, bending the knees to lower the hips down towards the heels, keeping the knees hip distance apart, arms out in front, palms either facing down towards the floor or towards one another, thumbs towards the ceiling. An option just to start pulsing, so lifting the hips and lowering them down towards the heels. And then inhaling, exhaling, press down, driving down through the heels. Inhaling, lifting the arms up, and exhaling back to centre. Do that twice more. Framing the fingers either side of the feet, keeping the feet firmly grounded down through the floor, hips down towards the heels. Again, option to turn the palms down, towards one another, or maybe even lifting the palms up and overhead. So arms running alongside the ears, tailbone tucking under, length all the way along the side body towards the hips. An option again, maybe just to pulse the hips down towards the heels. Just really feeling those quadriceps in the thighs firing up. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to press down, driving down through the heels. Inhaling, lift up, and back to centre. One more time. Fingers either side of the feet again. Palms down, facing towards one another, or up. Running alongside the ears. And just holding that for a few breaths, and again maybe option just to pulsing those hips up and down, but just being careful of any discomfort, pain you might be experiencing across the knees. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling back down, inhaling arms up and overhead, and back to centre. I'm going to walk myself now towards the front of the mat, hands on the hips, fixed gaze looking down towards the floor, nice soft gaze, and just rocking the weight across to the right foot, and just lifting the left heel up. Lowering that left heel, rocking the weight across to the left hand side, and lifting the right heel. So just playing with our balance, just seeing how that weight distribution, as it shifts from one side to the other, how that feels. An option here, is lift the knee up on one side, and then on the other. And just a couple more times. Whew. That was a strong start, it's got me out of breath. Okay, next time as we shift the weight across to the right side, we're going to lift our left knee up, take our left foot back, so foot running parallel with the short side of the mat, toes pointing out towards the long side. So again, adjusting the feet and widening that stance between the front and back foot just to help with any stability issues. And then taking the hands onto the hips and just slowly start bending that front knee. So that right knee now out towards the the little toe on the right foot, and grounding down to the outside of that left foot. And once you feel that stability, grounding down through the floor, lifting the arms up at shoulder height, fingers pointing forward and back. Turning the palms up, inhaling, lift the arms up and overhead, straighten that front leg. Exhaling as you bring the hands back to centre and reach them back out again, you bend the knee. Twice more. Inhaling, lift up, and exhaling down. Once more. Inhaling, lift up, and back down. Now taking the back hand now, running it along the outside of the back leg, turning that front palm up, lifting that front palm up, still keeping that front knee bent. An option here just to place the right hand around the back of the head, just to provide a little bit of extra support. Elbow pointed up towards the sky, and just crawling millimetre by millimetre that back hand down the back leg, until you feel that stretch all the way along the right side of the body down towards the right hip. Hip still sinking down towards the floor. So taking yourself back into arms out at shoulder distance, shoulder height. Taking the back hand, so that left hand now bringing it to the inside of the left hip. Bending the right elbow, right forearm across the right thigh. So opening up that left shoulder, left hip. Taking the left hand, tenting those fingers up towards the left shoulder. And then option to lift left hand up towards the sky. Either with the gaze down towards the floor, same direction as the chest or up towards the hand. An option to sweep that left hand under and bring that overhead into this extended side angle pose. Still maintaining that opening across the chest and the shoulders and the hips. Really feel as though that right hip rounding down, rolling down, the left hip opening up. You're feeling that length all the way along from the left fingers down towards the outside of the left foot. So slowly bringing yourself back up into that position with the arms out at shoulder height. Placing the hands now along the legs and just bringing that left foot in just a little bit closer towards that front foot. So straightening now that right leg. Now taking the left hip back, so really feel as though those hips are reaching back towards that short side of the mat at the back. Arms out shoulder distance apart, and then slowly start folding forward over that front leg. Now taking the left hand and just bringing it alongside the left hip again as we did before, and just allowing that right hand just to land down along the inside of the right leg. Could be anywhere along that leg, it doesn't need to be as low as mine. Option here now to lift the left fingers up towards that left shoulder, or maybe up towards the sky into this triangle pose. So again, almost imagining we're leaning against a wall behind you, opening up across the chest and the shoulders, across the hips, and you'll feel a stretch all the way along the inseam of that right leg. Now bending the knee, front knee, lifting yourself back up again, arms at shoulder height, bring the hands back down by the side, and now pointing those front toes out to the long side of the mat, so same direction as the camera. Now tucking those toes in just very slightly, so taking the hands now across the hips, big inhale, really feel like the chest is expanding, exhaling to fold forward, so hinging at the hips again, taking the hands down towards the floor. Option to use a block, thick block if you need it, just to provide that little bit of extra support. Important things here, maintaining that space across the chest, length along the spine, Subtle bend in the knees if you need it, to ease any tension along the back of the legs. And then bending the knees, all of us bend the knees, and then lifting yourself back up again. We'll do the same on the opposite side. So left toes now out towards the side, that short side of the mat towards the back. Maybe heel toe in that back foot back again. Widen the stance between the two just to improve stability. Really feel that grounding down now through the feet, all the way up towards the hips. Bending that front knee. And again, just making sure that left knee is pointing out towards the left toe side, just maintaining that opening, maximising that opening across the hips. Grounding down again through the back of the outside of that back foot. And now taking the arms out, forward and back, shoulder height. Turn the palms up, inhale and lift up, straighten that front leg, and back down again, reaching back out. And each time you might find there's just that little bit more space in the body as you integrate the breath with that movement and the body warms up. Now landing that back hand now along the outside of the back leg, turning the front palm up, lifting that front arm up and overhead towards the opposite side, the short side of the mat. An option again just to support the head with the left hand, left elbow up towards the ceiling or the sky above. I'm really feeling that stretch now all along the left side of the body. Lifting the arms back up at shoulder height. Now bringing the right hand along the right hip, left forearm across the left thigh. And really feel that opening now across the right shoulder, right hip, opening all the way across the side of the body, bending that left knee again, and just being careful that as you place the weight down on that front arm, that the knee doesn't start drawing back in towards the big toe side. So still keeping it out towards that little toe side. Now options here again, as before, lifting the hand up, tented fingers onto that right shoulder this time, or up and overhead, gaze maybe down towards the floor, out to the side, or up towards the fingers. An option to sweep that top hand down and round, up and overhead, and again as you extend into this side angle. And just breathe into that space that you're creating all along the side body, but also as you sink the hips down, open the chest up, maximising that space across the shoulder and hip joints. Now lifting yourself back up again, arms out at shoulder height, taking the hands down onto the legs, shorten that stance, again just a little bit, straighten that front leg out, pointing that right hip back this time, arms out forward and back, shoulder height, and just slowly start folding forward. So landing that left hand down this time, right hand onto the right hip, option to take the right hand up to the right shoulder, or up and overhead, and again option to either keep the gaze down, to the side, or up. And again, that left hand doesn't need to go as low as mine. You could easily have that further up the shin, up towards the knee. Key things here is that you're feeling the benefit of the stretch through all four corners of the body. And then slowly bending that front knee, back up, arms out at shoulder height, bending that front knee, straightening that front leg, turning the left toes now out towards the side. Heel turn the feet back in, so toes pointing in ever so slightly, heels out to the side, and again, hands to the hands to the hips, big open chest, lengthening along the body, and exhaling as you fold forward, down towards the floor. This time we'll cross our forearms over one another, cradling our opposite elbows with our hands, and just allowing the upper body just to sink down towards the floor. I really feel as though you're almost rocking onto the front of the balls of the feet, and extending all the way from the heels, all the way up towards the hip sockets. And again, inviting that subtle bend in the knees if you need it, to ease any tension along the back of the legs. Subtle bend in the knees, lifting yourself back up again. Bringing yourself back into that standing position where you started. Feet hip distance apart, hands either sides of the hips, closing the eyes. And feel that grounding down again through the floor. Through all four corners of the feet. Knees, thighs lifting up towards the hips, pelvis, tilting forward ever so slightly. Belly button drawing in towards the spine to engage the abdominal muscles. Feeling that length all the way along the front body. with each breath. As you inhale and exhale, fingers again reaching down towards the floor, feeling that stretch all the way along the side of the arms, top to the shoulders along the side of the neck, chin tucking in ever so slightly towards the chest, length along the back of the neck, and really feel as though that length is extending all the way from the top of the head towards the ceiling or this beautiful blue sky. Nice soft gaze, open the eyes. There we go. Hope you've enjoyed this morning's session. I feel a lot better for it for sure. And we're pretty much bang on time. We've got the dogs out here joining me now. Here they come, just to celebrate the end of another session. It was National Dog Day yesterday. Didn't get a chance to get Rhoda involved then, but certainly she'll be doing a few downward dogs today. Anyway, have a fantastic day. Hopefully see you tomorrow for day 25 of this Summer Stretch Challenge. And as you can see, I'm raising awareness this week for St Mungo's and all its work to support homeless people and improve their lives. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye.